As a congregation, we went to Show Low, Arizona, and worked with the American Indian Christian Mission, and we went to the White Mountain Fort Apache Reservation. And we had a whole lot of different work type projects that we did on the mission campus. And then each day we would go down over to the reservation, and we worked in different communities with groups of kids sharing God's Word and just loving on them.
I feel like these kids were in very tough situations, and just being able to just love on them, play with them, and just even for a short period of time, just they got to experience how we felt about them, and I think that's a really good thing.
My favorite part about this trip was getting to go to their neighborhoods every week and meeting new kids and playing games with them.
My favorite part of the trip was at the end of the day. Every day we sat together outside on the deck and just sing worship. We talked about what we did that day, and I really enjoyed it because it was with everyone together.
We were on something called the Big Blue Bus, which is a bus that has all these seats ripped out and they're these wooden chests that you sit on, but underneath there's all kinds of toys and crowns and basketballs and footballs and stuff to get out and to play. And we would just ride through the neighborhoods and beat the horn, and kids would just come running. And just to see their excitement was absolutely amazing. It was an awesome experience.
Life on the reservation is tough, you know. I could tell a lot of the kids, even when they were younger, felt like they needed to act older or live up to, you know, a certain expectation, and just have that hardness to them, you know, to show that they're tough.
So if I had to describe what life was like on the reservation, it was sadness. It just to watch these kids have no hope, it's just sad.
If you don't pay a bill, for Pete's sake, they just board the house and you have the clothes on your back. And that's just, to me, that's very sad of how they have to live their lives and live under such governing, you know, people. And so it's just, you know, it's just very sad.
I think one of the things that we forget is how rough life is on the reservation. It's like a third world country. Unemployment is 80%. Alcoholism is through the roof. Everywhere you go, including the playgrounds for these kids, are just littered with liquor bottles and wine bottles and beer cans and broken glass. Gangs are through the roof. There are gangs everywhere. The Bloods and the Crips are on the reservations. There's a lot of violence. And it's just something that you don't really see if you just go to a casino. You got to get deeper onto the reservation.
We did come across a place that was called the Suicide Bridge.
You mentioned Suicide Bridge, and as I think about that, chills just went down my arm. I was totally unaware of the fact that suicide is so prevalent in Arizona, but especially on the reservation.
Some of these people that live on the reservation get so desperate that they don't find any other way out, and they decided they're going to end their life. And so this bridge, when you cross it, when you look over the edge, which we did when we went over, it's nothing but rock at the bottom. There's nobody coming back from that. And we had learned that there was a couple of people recently that were very close to, that we had met actually at the campus, that were contemplating doing that. And it was just really sad to think that there's nothing left. I have no one else to turn to, and it's part of the mission's goal is to show them there is another way. And there is somebody who's always going to be there for them, and that's, you know, one of the things that we brought to mission for that.
The hard one, the one that really broke my heart, was Xavier. He, that was the second day, and I followed him around when we went to his neighborhood. I noticed him for some reason when we got there, and I would hear him throughout the day talking to me. He would say, I'm ugly. Just under his breath, he'd say, I'm ugly. I'm stupid. I'm evil. And he would kept saying those things. When we got on the bus, I sat by him as we were taking him home, and he just kept doing that. He was going on, and he was serious. He was not playing. And every time he said, I'm ugly, I said, you're beautiful. He said, I'm stupid. I said, you're perfect. You're smart. And he said, I'm evil. I said, God doesn't make evil people. And I said, he made you perfect. And Xavier is a part of my life now. He doesn't know it, but I pray for him. And if there's, I need to help him. I need to go back. I need to be there to do the little bit that I can.
I encourage people to go on this trip next year because it's a very life-changing experience. Like, it changes the way you view others at the church. Maybe you didn't know them, like, you definitely get to know them. It changes the way you view God, obviously, and it definitely is a huge shifting factor in your religion, because there's just so many different things that you experience, you go through, and obviously the experience is different for everybody, but overall it's something very great. I think a lot of people should be able to go and experience that.
To me, it was very apparent, even when a kid wasn't having the best of days and they'd get on the big blue bus, and within 5 minutes of getting off the bus, their entire day had changed, because this dreary look on their face had instantly turned to pure happiness and joy. And just getting that affection and seeing how much that meant to them blew my mind. It blew my mind.
I would definitely go back. I really enjoyed it. Hopefully we can come back with a bigger group.
They're seeing what good is. They're seeing that there's something else. And if we can touch them and they can touch their families, and then, the old camp song, it only takes a spark to get a fire going. All we are told to do is make disciples, and then God does the rest. We've got to do our part. And me going back and taking somebody, if they want to go with me, is trying to do my part.
This was our first year going to Show Low, Arizona, to the Apache Indian Reservation. We're going to make it a yearly trip because it was that impactful. I would certainly encourage anyone who has a heart for children, who has a heart for the poor and the powerless, as Jesus would say, the less of these, to really pray about and consider jumping on board and coming along with us next year. We're going to leave in June, Father's Day weekend of next year, and the more the merrier. We want you to come not only to minister to these people, but to be ministered to in return, and to build community together as an Elevate family.